I don't know, maybe I think different because for me, I think, so a lot of young people, some people, they live outside of Africa because they think there's no opportunities. But for me, everywhere I travel, like even here in Ethiopia, I see opportunities everywhere. So I think the challenges of young people is like limiting ourselves, thinking that we cannot do it. The only challenge young people we're facing is us thinking about ourselves. Like, we don't think that we can do it. We don't think that we can change. We don't think that we can change this society. For example, there are people who don't believe in one Africa because they believe that no, one Africa will never happen. They just believe, so they limit themselves. I will quote one thing. Obama once said, this quote, I love his quote, what he said. He said, if you reach your goals, that means you didn't set them high enough. You understand that? So the challenge of young people, we don't set our goals high enough. We think here. So I only think about Gondar. I'm Gondar, I was born here, I will die here. Oh, I'm Ethiopian, I will live here, I will die here. No, we have to think big. Because when you think big, like if you think big, you'll start seeing opportunities, you'll start seeing big things. If you think small, you'll see small things. If you think big, you'll see, like it's divine and also psychological. If I think big, I'll start seeing big. Like you will see it. So I came to Tanzania and a lot of people, they're like, you know, I don't want to go back home because there's no opportunity, there's no jobs. I'm like, I don't want to be employed. I want to employ Tanzanians. I think big, right? So because I want to employ, it came with this idea like I had in my mind for 9 years. And I just started 2 years ago. And now when I go back home, I'll be able to employ some people to take care of the media, of social media, some people to be like cameramen. I'll be able to employ them. Then I will have people, young people who they'll have an opportunity to work. The only limit you have as a young people is yourself. The only enemy we have as Africans are not whites, it's Africans, it's ourselves. That's the challenge I've seen everywhere. If you think you cannot do it, you will never do it. If you think you can do it, you will do it. Because the moment you think about it, you'll start figuring out, okay, how can I do it? How can I do it? You start thinking about that. But a lot of young people these days, they give up. They give up. They don't push hard enough because the life gets tough, and for ladies, they just end up, oh, I would just rather have babies. Okay, maybe I just want to have babies. And poof, babies. But there's things you can do before that. The things you can, let's not limit ourselves. Don't limit yourself, man. Your mind, do you know, you use 5% of your brain. Do you know that? Like us as human beings, we only use 5% of our brain. Do you know that? Do you guys know that? Like you use 5% of your brain. That's human being we use. Those genius people, some of them, they use like 5.5 or 6. That means the human brain, it's more smarter than this machine. These are machines, but your brain is more smarter. Imagine you're using 5% and people design plans, they design cars, they design buildings, just 5%. Imagine if you use like 10%. Oh my goodness, like this world, it will be different. What I'm saying is don't settle. Like don't settle, don't be satisfied with where you are. Don't be satisfied with what you're doing right now. Don't be like, oh, I'm okay. No, it's not okay. You can do better than that. You take exam, you get 50%, you're like, oh, this is better. I got 50. No, it's not okay. You can get 100. You can. If you think about that, you will study hard, you work hard, you make sure that you push yourself to the limit to achieve your goal. So I want to challenge you guys. I'll tell you this. So my dream in 2009, you know what was my dream? My dream was to become a president of Tanzania when I was 16. I didn't finish. That when I was 16, I said I want to become president of Tanzania. But do you know my dream right now? I'm like, no, Tanzania is very small. I want Africa. So I'm not dreaming to be a leader of Africa or whatever, but what I'm doing right now, I'm doing for Africa. So I don't have to be a president to do what I do. I don't have to be like a leader of Africa to do what I do. No, I just need to be an African who loves Africa to do what I do. So what I'm doing right now, I do what African Union honestly is not doing sometimes. We are writing letters. We wrote letters to Mali. Us as One Africa wrote a letter to the president of France for what he did in Burkina Faso. Like French troop, they killed our people in Burkina Faso. They killed them like a couple months ago. We wrote a letter to him, to President of France. If you go on my Twitter, you write Mika Chavala, you see that letter is up there. We wrote a letter special to him that we need you to get out your troops out of Africa. We demanded as people. And a couple days later, he removed troops out of Mali. Right now in the Ukraine, our brothers and sisters, Africans, they were stuck in there. They were not leaving. They were being harassed by the soldiers of Ukraine. You know what we did? We wrote a letter to the international organization to help our people to leave, to take them out. We wrote a letter today. 2 days later, they allowed them to leave. I'm not an African leader. I'm just an African who loves Africa, who wants the best for Africa. And I'm writing a letter to them. It's scary, but we have to tell them to do it. And now we are writing a letter to all the Italians, British, German, all these colonial powers. We are writing a letter to them to return our heritage that they stole. Italians, they stole a lot of heritage here out of Ethiopia, out of Tanzania, so many, all over the continent. Now we are doing research. Right now, as I'm saying, like we are the people who are doing research to find how many things have been stolen, and we're writing a special letter to them to return our stuff. So the only way, the only limitation, the only restriction, the only challenge is yourself. If you think this small, you'll be like that. If I was still thinking about President of Tanzania, I'll not be here today. I'll be in Tanzania, maybe here and there, but I'm like, no, I want the whole world to know what is Africa and who is Africa. Myself. So please, guys, please, let's think big. We have this opportunity to have education, to go to school like this. There's a lot of people in countryside that don't get a chance to come to school. Gondar University is beautiful university. I was telling my brother here that, man, I'm walking around this school. It's beautiful. This university, I had no idea. I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow. It looks like Korea. This is beautiful. We have this opportunity. Let's use it. Let's think big. Don't just think about having kids. Don't just think about here. No, think about there.